Now, if a function is defined by using more than one equation, then this function is called a piecewise function. Now, in our real life, the example of using piecewise function is how your tax is determined, or how your tax is calculated. The amount of tax is calculated is depending on your income. If your income is between 1 and 10,000, then you will be charged this amount of tax. For example, if your income is between 10,000 and 50,000, you will be charged this amount of tax. So here is an example of piecewise function. The function is given by this fx equals, now here in this function we use two equations to define the function. If x is greater than or equal to 0, then we use the first equation to evaluate function. If x is less than 0, we use the second equation to evaluate the function. So, if we want to evaluate f of 2, now because the input is 2, is a number greater than 0, so therefore we should use the first equation, 2x plus 1, to evaluate the function. So therefore we substitute 2 for x in the first equation. So the function value is 5. And to find f of 0, because the input is 0, so also we use the first equation. So the answer is 1. Now, when we evaluate the function at -4, because -4 is smaller than 0, and according to this condition, if x is smaller than 0, we should use the second equation. So this time we substitute -4 for x into the second equation. So the answer is -13. Okay? Now let's take a look at another problem. So this problem says copy shop. This is how the copy shop charges. So if you want to do the corner copies, so if the number of copies is between 0 and 20, then for every copy it charges 89 cents. And if the amount of a copy is between 20 and 50, every copy it charges you 79 cents. And if we want to do the black and the white copy, so if the number of copy is between 0 and 50, then every copy it charges you 9 cents. And if the amount of copy is between 50 and 200, then every copy it charges you 8 cents. So now we want to know, if you decide to make 30 color copies and 500 black and white copies, how much does it cost you? So because we're gonna make 30 color copies, so that means n is 30, and we go back to this function. If n is 30, so n is between 20 and 50. So therefore, every copy it charges you 79 cents. So 79 cents for each copy. Therefore, if you're gonna make 30 copy, it will charge you 30 times $0.79. Okay, so this is the amount of money you have to pay for these 30 color copies. And then for the black and the white copies, since you are gonna to make 500. Now 500 is greater than 200. So every copy it costs you 6 cents. For each copy. So for these 500 copies, it costs you $0.06. So then we figure out what is the total. So the total gonna be the amount of money you have to pay for these 30 color copies and the 500 black and white copies. Now 30 times 0.79. So this is 23.7, and plus 500 times 0.06. So it's 30. So it gonna cost you $53.7 for making 30 copies and 500 black and white copies.